And here we go. Done. And I'm going to give back
Got it.
the hosting.
Look at you. You're
Just
such a boss. You just bang, bang, bang.
boom. You know it. There we go. Perfect. Perfect.
Yay.
Perfect. Okay. All right.
All
Have fun,
right.
everyone.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Guys, so we're gonna go till 12:30, and we normally take a break at around somewhere between 11:15. And so during that break, I'm gonna try to get my camera all sorted out, and put on my contact lenses and make sure that everything is good for you guys, because I get to see Sunil and I see Ashish, I see Daria, I see Samir. So it's really wonderful and amazing to see you guys and your wonderful, energetic faces. And I want to make sure that I give back that same energy. So hopefully on the break, I'll get all the stuff sorted and I'll get my camera back on. So anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Nakimbe Baobab. Today we're going to be talking about how to build your 1-year marketing strategy and plan. Okay, we're going to cover it in 2 parts. Like I said, we'll have a break between 11:15. And in the first part of the day, we'll talk about, first of all, marketing strategy and planning and what it is. We'll take a look at a SWOT analysis, and SWOT stands for your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We'll take a look at branding, the 5 P's of marketing, how to identify your target markets and set specific marketing objectives, understanding the customer experience. And then we'll take a break. And when we come back, we'll look at brand recognition, generating sales, and gaining a competitive edge. Sorry, guys, I have a little frog in my throat. Marketing toolkits and annual planning templates, marketing budgets, relationship building, and networking strategies for small business, and latest marketing trends and technologies. So I've been doing this presentation with Access for a few years now, and I always enjoy it because things have changed over the last few years, meaning, at some points I would talk about the difference between marketing and sales. At other times, I focus on marketing budgets and, how much you really need to put aside, as well as how to generate business for free. And now I'm sure everyone's on ChatGPT. Everybody knows about the impact of AI. So focusing on the latest marketing trends and technology during this presentation is going to be a lot of fun. And also, I'm going to be focusing a little bit on relationship building and networking strategies for small businesses, because, as I said, I've been doing this presentation for Access for a few years now, and things always change in the landscape. And part of the reason I love being a part of this organization is because I get to talk to real entrepreneurs like you guys. And instead of just these, corporations, I get to keep my pulse on the beat of what's really happening. And there's kind of a switch and a tide now where people are, even though artificial intelligence is taking off, people are also looking for a lot of relationship building. I think they've become over digitized, so we're going to have a lot of fun with some of the stuff that we're going to be covering today. And before I begin, I first want to start with asking you guys to put in the chat or just say out loud so, we can have as much live participation as possible. But what is your understanding of marketing, and what is marketing to you? And then what are some of the challenges that you face? So I like to get this out of the way, bright and early in the presentation, to make sure we're all sort of starting on the same page in terms of what people think marketing is and what some of the common challenges and complaints are, so that I can make sure those get addressed for you as the presentation moves on. So, so Ashish, am I saying your name correctly? Is it Ashish? Yes, wonderful. Thank you.
Absolutely, bingo.
Yay. So Ashish says that marketing is to let the market, your potential customers, know that you exist. Yes, that is marketing. Industry presence. Yes, that is marketing. Anybody else want to chime in and say what you think marketing is to you? It's the way that you sell your service or product. Yep, I would agree.
Maybe
Okay.
it's perception of your product.
Yeah, perception of your product. I agree. All that makes sense. So basically, it looks like overall the general, what do we have here? Understanding where your brand stands and how to sell your brand. Yeah, these are all great answers. And I think what's really coming to me is that marketing really is quite diverse. There are a lot of aspects in marketing. I like to call myself a full stack marketer, but that could be anything from web design to social media to analytics to retargeting to paid ads to branding to product presentation to like email. I mean, marketing is really, really very broad. But at the end of the day, what it is, it's the process of getting people to know. Sorry, let me get rid of some of this stuff on my screen here. It's kind of in the way. Marketing is basically the way that you get people to see, know, and understand and recognize your business. So it's the way that you present your business. And we'll get into a little bit more details about that in just a little bit. Now, before I get into the main presentation, I just want to let you guys know about something called the 10 Commandments of Marketing. This is something that's proprietary to me and my company that we came up with. And it's a guide to help you make sense of marketing. Because as I just mentioned, there are so many aspects to marketing. It can be very easy to get lost and confused or just to do marketing in a very shallow way. But if you follow these 10 Commandments of Marketing, because like Natalie was saying, we're going to be together for like 3 hours. I'm covering a lot of information. And as you'll see, for every strategy I talk about, I can only spend about 10 minutes on it. So it's going to be a little difficult to keep up. But if you remember the 10 Commandments, I do believe you guys will get them in handouts. You can also take a screenshot. It's going to help guide you now and in the future. Okay, so Dan is saying some of the challenges that we face: limited money, absolutely. Inappropriate channels, yeah. Lack of knowledge and tools. That is perfect. Oh, I can't wait to get a copy of this presentation later, because that is spot on. I think another challenge people have is not understanding who their ideal target market is. And so therefore spend and waste a lot of, sometimes time, money, or energy promoting to an audience that's not even your ideal buyer. Like on your social media, you keep posting things about your business on your social media, but it's friends and family who mainly follow you, right? And then understanding that the algorithms only show your content to 10% of your fans and followers because they want you to pay for advertising. So yeah, if you don't understand those things, it can be a waste of time and energy. And then someone else is saying, Daria is saying, a lack of knowledge about B2B. Yeah, B2B is really different. It's not just about TikTok dances or social media or Facebook or not even being on LinkedIn. You have to be very strategic and direct. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this presentation, we are I'm really looking forward to the latter half of the presentation when we talk about relationship building and networking, because that is important in B2B. All right, so let me get into the 10 Commandments of Marketing, right? So again, take a screenshot or something. Let me just get rid of it here. Hold on a second, and let me lower this here. Okay, so the 10 Commandments of Marketing. The first one is know thy business, and it's meant to be a play on the real 10 Commandments, right? So that's why it's written in this kind of weird language, but it's also a marketing tactic because it makes you pay attention. It's also relatable to something people have heard of or at least know of, the 10 Commandments. So this is a perfect example of, even in your own business, how to make yourself stand out, how to be different, and how to get attention. All right. Otherwise, Mappdom would have just been another marketing company, and I would be competing with, your kid's neighbor who knows how to do a website, or your niece or nephew who's going to post on social media for you. Why would you spend money on a marketing company when, small businesses sometimes think that anybody could do it? So Mappdom, my company, had to present ourselves differently in the market. We had to position ourselves as thought leaders and industry leaders that people should follow, not just a regular digital marketing company. So again, you might want to consider that for your own business. How can you stand out and make yourself look different from your competition? So one of the ways that we did this was by creating the 10 commandments of marketing. This gives us all sorts of content. We can put it on entrepreneur.com, Business Week. Like, you just have to make yourself stand out in the marketplace. So these are the 10 commandments of marketing. Know thy business and to thy business be true. Number 2, know thy competitors' ways and you'll never be blue. Number 3, shine the light on what makes thou great. Number 4, honor the audience segments in every single way. Number 5, be thou not general, or surely your business will fall ill. Number 6, commit not ad hoc marketing, be targeted, use skill. Number 7, market smartly and only where it makes good sense. Number 8, monitor thy results, do testing, be dense. Number 9, thou shalt not rely simply on one marketing strategy. Number 10, thou shalt move to paid advertising only after testing organically. So just to kind of summarize what this is and how this will help you in your marketing. And again, Natalie has been with me on this call for years. The reason that I start off with this and I spend a little bit of time on this is, like I said, marketing is so big and overwhelming that if you just, like in life, go back to the basics and follow the 10 commandments, you'll be all right. So know thy business and to thy business be true. That simply means, like, what it is, what is it exactly that you offer? Who do you serve? What solution do you provide? And what are the benefits or the outcomes, right? Sometimes, okay, let me back up for a second. You need to be very precise in defining what your business does, because sometimes people are very long-winded. When I ask them what they do, oh, we do this and we do that and we do this and this and that. It's like, that's why it's called an elevator pitch. You should be able to, well, I think things have changed now because they have buildings that have like 100 floors. But back in the day, they used to say your elevator pitch means that from the top floor to the bottom floor, you should be able to tell somebody in the elevator, what your business does. Another way to do this would be to, they call it the match. I don't know what the second word is, but like the match test. So if you light a match, by the time that outs on its own, under normal circumstances, of course, presuming you're not in a windstorm, right? By the time the match goes out, you should be able to say what your business is. So Mappdom, I'm about marketing strategy and solutions. It's very clear. It's not very convoluted, right? So know thy business and to thy business be true. Know your competitors' ways and you'll never be blue. So you have to do research, just not on your business, but on your competitors' businesses. What are their strengths or weaknesses? What's their customer service like? What's their price like? Because you have to realize when people are deciding to choose between you and another vendor, they're going to weigh all their options just like you do as a consumer. So if you don't know what else your potential buyer is seeing out there and why they should choose you over your competitor, for example, what's your competitive advantage, then you're going to lose a lot of money, right? Yeah, shine that light on what makes thou great. Again, that's your competitive advantage. With Mappdom, I could say, hey, you could go to any old marketing company, right? But we're an award-winning company. We've got a proven track record of results. We have lots of testimonials. It's based on, Ivy League education, 25 years in the public and private sector. I mean, that's why you should choose me as a business. You have to do that for yourself too. Shine the light on what makes you great, and then honor thou audience segments in every single way. Your business is not dedicated or catered to, a particular industry or people who are 18 to 54. It has to be much more precise than that. If you're in the B2B market, you focus on, maybe SaaS businesses or government agencies or education, or you're looking for people in healthcare or technology, but you have to be very specific in who you want to serve so that you can niche down and be, specialty in that particular area. And then don't be general, be very specific. Like I said, niching down is also is very good. Don't commit ad hoc marketing. That means you have to do what we're going to be doing today, which is you have to plan and strategize ahead of time. Don't wake up on Monday morning and be like, shoot, I have to post something and then just post anything. You have to think about all of these things in advance. This is, where my corporate background comes in. You have to plan all of these things in advance so that all you have to do, in a given time frame is execute. So right now in all corporations, probably from the time they come back from summer vacation to the end of the year, they're looking at the results of the last 9 months or so. They're looking at trends, what didn't work. And then by January the 1st, they know what ads going out, what email is going out. It's all planned. They have their seasonal sales. It's all planned. And that's a big difference between what large businesses and small businesses do. And then market only where it makes sense. Just because everyone's talking about TikTok or everyone's talking about, the hottest trend. Like I said, if you're a B2B business, then you don't need to necessarily be on TikTok. So you have to market where it makes sense. Like if it makes sense for you to be on LinkedIn because you're going after professionals, do that. If you're going after, Gen Z, you want to do that. If you're going after millennials, maybe female, you might want to be on Instagram. And I think one of the challenges is I see people want to be doing everything everywhere all the time. And so they get nowhere, right? And then another thing you have to do is you have to look at your results. This is something that corporations do. This is what makes you more sort of sophisticated. Don't just do marketing. Go back every quarter, every half year, once a year, and look at what didn't work, what messages worked, what platforms worked, what time of day was the best to post, where did you get the most leads for your dollars? Like you have to analyze things so that you can refine them for the next year. And then number 9, don't just rely on one strategy. You can have a digital marketing strategy, but you can also have an in-person strategy where you actually go out, you meet people, you shake hands, you look in people's eyes. So don't just, sort of hide behind email or hide behind social media. You have to have at least 2 strategies to compare. And then the last commandment is once you've done all of that testing and gathering of the knowledge to see what does and doesn't work, then you can strategically and intelligently move to paid ads. One of the issues I see in marketing a lot is that people are like, oh, I'm so desperate. I need customers. I need clients. And so they're like, let me take out some ads. And because they don't do this planning ahead of time, they end up getting really crap leads and, blowing through their budget. So anyway, if you remember nothing else throughout this presentation, take a screenshot of this. This is like your compass. It will always help you in your marketing. All right, so we're going to have interactive opportunities. Apply, if you guys, I think some of you have existing businesses already. So we'll try to apply the learnings to your direct business so you can get the most out of it. I do believe that Ying or Natalie, you might have some handouts for reference, practice sheets. We'll have chat and Q&A. We're not really going to be doing any polls, no Zoom polls. I might just do something informal, raise your hand to answer a question. And then, like I said, about 10 minutes per topic and 5 minutes to chat. So I do believe this is who we have with us today. Yep. We've got Amin, Aniska, Arten, Ashish, Chuanshi, I'm so sorry. Dan, Daria, Daniel, Dipti, Demoto. We've got a lot of people here. Jacqueline, all like A to D's. Jacqueline, Partik, Samir, Sunil, Tulu, Yusub, and then Yurshab. Oh, so sorry. I probably butchered a lot of those names. But I mean, my name is Nakimbe, so I completely sympathize with everybody. These are the industries that we're going to be looking at. And because I'm giving you the basic principles and structures of things, they are applicable to all businesses. So, we've got a cafe for artists. We've got Bohemian food items. We've got consulting services, entertainment. We've got online business of accessories, okay, from Asia, technical solutions, car purchase support, project management, importing, clothes, digital platforms, interior designs, bioproducts from North Africa. Very cool. Okay, I'm so excited to hear about some of these things. Manufacturing, sales, correct fashion, and manufacturing all types of tissue-related products. Okay, that sounds cool. Shan, sorry, Shan, I don't see you. And this is the sheet that I got from Ying. So be sure to put you and your business in the chat. All right, so a little bit about me. Yeah, just because you're like, why should I listen to this chick? So I'm an award-winning graduate from the University of Toronto. I have my MBA, my Master of Business Administration from Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts, USA. specializing in marketing, innovation, and entrepreneurship. I'm also a project management professional, have over 22 years of senior leadership experience in both the public and the private sector. I've been the president of a nonprofit organization. I've worked internationally and with all levels of entrepreneurs and business people, Fortune 100 companies from startup to blue chip companies. I did a TED Talk. I'm a keynote motivational speaker, empowerment life specialist, executive coach, speaker, author, publisher, writer, and teacher. So with that, let's begin. So we already talked about a little bit about what marketing is. And just so you know, marketing is the process of getting people interested in your company's product or service. This happens through market research, like I talked to you before, analysis and understanding your ideal customer's interests. Marketing pertains to all aspects of business, including product development, distribution methods, sales, and advertising. So if you see a car or a truck with, or a streetcar or a bus with like an advertising banner on it, that's obviously advertising. Distribution methods of marketing, it could be, flyers that go out in the mail, or letters that you mail, or I don't know, free giveaways, right? Product development. What's your packaging going to look like? What's the color of the packaging? What's the font? What are you using? Biodegradable ingredients. And you can talk about that in your market to say to people, you should pick our product over that one, because not only do we have the best product, but we also care about the environment, because you're trying to get as many customers as possible. The way that somebody answers the phone, your receptionist, the hold music, the hold tone, all of that is a part of marketing. So again, marketing is the process of getting people interested in your company's product or service. And I want to take a minute to talk about the fact that there is a huge difference between sales and marketing. Okay. I've been in this business for a long time, radio, print, newspaper, like you name it. I've been in this industry a long time. And sometimes people will take out ads in the newspaper or on the radio, they'll spend money on a Google ad or a Facebook ad, and they don't get any sales, right? And then they get mad at the marketing people. Like, I spent all this money on marketing, but I didn't get any sales. People have to realize there's a difference between sales and marketing. Again, marketing is the process of getting people interested in your business. Sales focuses on working directly with those prospects to get them to convert, right? And I'm in the middle of this right now in my business. I have a product called the SOLD system, SOLD, which stands for Strategic Organic Leads on Demand. And I have been marketing it and developing it for a while. People have bought, we have lots of students. But now again, following the 10 Commandments, I knew I wasn't going to blow my budget. So I was going to paid ads later on after I did all of this organic testing. But like we're going to focus on a little bit later in the presentation, I couldn't hide behind marketing. I can't just post things on LinkedIn or YouTube or Instagram or Facebook and think I'm going to make sales just because I put a post that says buy my product. That's not what happens, right? You have to actively go out there and talk to people. You have to try to get leads. You have to try to get people interested. And then you have to talk to them. You have to sell them on why they should buy your product. So marketing is when you get them interested, but sales is sort of when you take them to the bank. So please, please, please keep that in mind. Just because you are marketing does not mean you're going to make sales. It will be difficult to make sales without marketing, but you need to actually get out there, talk to people. That's what I'm doing. I'm asking everybody I know, hey, do you want to buy the Soul System? Do you want to buy the Soul System? And I don't even care at this point if their answer is yes or no. If they buy the product from me, it's great. I make money. But more importantly, I get information. I get feedback. They can't afford it. They're not at that stage in their business. They're focusing on other tactics. By that feedback, when I'm ready to go into paid ads and when I'm ready to go, market to the larger market, I will know who I should and who I should not go after. So that's why the sales part is important. You need to talk to your customers. Like I said earlier, you need to do the research. Okay. So that's marketing. Now, in order to do marketing and to plan all these things in advance, you have to have a strategy. Otherwise, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So what is a strategy exactly? A strategy is a careful plan or method for achieving a particular goal, usually over a long period of time. So, so we're going to talk about why it's important to have a plan. It's important to have a plan because it's the foundation to helping you project objectives and achieve your ultimate goals. Having a plan helps you define the full scope of a project. It also helps you stay focused, set goals and objectives, meet deadlines, and measure your success, and then debrief on the entire project. So this may be stuff that you haven't really thought of. It may be things that you may be somewhat aware of on the periphery of your existence, but when you are, again, a senior level executive in like a large corporation, with this big educational background, it really is about taking a 50-foot view of what's happening across the entire internet marketing landscape or advertising landscape or with your industry or with your audience so that you can plan what to do, what is or isn't working. Excuse me. So maybe if I have time, I'll show you guys my actual marketing plan later. I think I'll do that. If I have time after the break, I'll show you guys my actual 2024 marketing plan. So you can see I have specific things happening at specific months. There are specific target market people that I'm going after. There are specific services and products that I'm marketing at certain times, right? So you guys will be able to do something like that as well. So now let's talk about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So a strength is just a characteristic that gives you an advantage over your competitors. So again, for me, when I came into the market, and you want to do a competitive analysis, not just for your own business, but for your competitors as well. When I came into the market, I looked at all of the other marketing companies and I did research on the owners and stuff. Some people had, a great educational background, but they had no experience. Some people had some experience, but they didn't have the education. Some people had this. So when I looked at my competitors and I thought, well, how am I different? I realized that I have the 4 E's, and no other marketing company that I know of that would be a competitor of mine has these 4 E's. And I tell people, you should do business with us because I have the education, the experience, the expertise, and the exposure. So I've worked with Fortune 500 companies as well as startups. I've, got the theoretical and academic background upon which all marketing is based. And I'm like, does whoever else you're considering, do they have that? Right? So you want to know what your strengths are. You also want to know what your weaknesses are. For example, we're not the least expensive because we get, the most results. So if someone is looking for bargain marketing, then we know that could be considered a weakness for us. But what you'll learn to do is turn all weaknesses into opportunities where you can make your weakness look like a benefit. For example, one of the stories I tell is about 2 tennis companies that were in close proximity to each other. One of them, the patrons were getting upset because they never had the rackets in, they never had the balls in, like they never had the stuff. So they were going to a competitor down the street. And the chief marketing officer, the CMO, the CEO, the chief executive officer, told the chief marketing officer, you better fix this. And so the chief marketing officer came up with a campaign that said, hey, look, if you come to our store, we're so sorry, but some of the balls and the tennis rackets that you want may not be in stock because people love our products so much. We cannot keep them on the shelf. We have a waiting list. But if you want to get some inferior, less expensive, easy access to get products, you can go to our competitor down the street. They have full inventory all the time. I guess nobody really shops there, right? So they were able to change that around. So you need to know your strengths so that you can also know your weaknesses. You can try to change those into opportunities. And then you want to, be able to pivot when there's a threat. So example, COVID came out of nowhere. It knocked out a lot of businesses. You need to know how to pivot. Industry regulations could change, cultural temperature can change, right? And as a business owner, because this is not just about marketing, marketing is one small piece of your business. But if you understand what the threats are, you'll be able to pivot. A personal example for me, the name of my company, again, Mappdom, Mappdom. You'll notice that the app in the middle, APP, is an orange because it distincts it. It's a distinction from the rest of the letters in my logo, Mappdom. The reason for that is we were originally a mobile application development company. I wanted small businesses to be competitive. I was like, social media is dying. Mobile apps is the way to go. Now it's artificial intelligence. Back then, I was like, mobile apps is the way to go. And so you should get mobile apps with us. And then Apple went and changed their coding requirements for the language with which mobile apps were made and developed. And I was using very easy sort of language to build our mobile apps. And so now Apple wasn't taking any apps built with our software on their platform anymore. And that could have completely wiped out my business. However, one of the things they teach you when you do get your MBA is you got to be able to pivot. You need to be dynamic. You need to be innovative. Things always change. You have to change and keep up with the times or your business is going to die. So at that time, I was like, okay, well, mobile apps, I can't really do that anymore, but everyone seems to want social media. So I started doing social media for a small business. So you have to know what the potential threats are to your business. And we don't have to do this exercise right now out loud. I mean, if anybody wants to, you can, but we still have about 4 or 5 other areas to talk. But does anybody know what, does anybody want to tell me if they already know what their strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats are for their particular business? If not, we'll just move on to branding, which is fine. Anybody? Going once, going twice? All right. So that is something that you guys should probably try to take a little bit of time to do at some point, is just take a look at your business and write down what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your opportunities, and what are your threats. Let me see. I'm just going to start my video for one quick second and say hello, so you guys know that I'm here. All right. Okay, next, we're going to look at we're going to look at branding and getting your brand identity together and how that plays into your marketing and how it's important. So branding is all of these different elements. It's not only your product, it's your identity, your values, your strategy, your marketing, your communication, your positioning, your vision, you being you, your authenticity, your personality, your commitment, what differentiates you and your value. And before we get into the next topic, I mean, I don't have my logo on here anymore, but just in terms, to give my company as an example. Oh boy, one of the there's an exercise that we do when my company Mappdom is trying to help a company get their brand identity. One of the exercises that we do, which I'm not covering in this presentation, is called a core exercise. Core stands for creative, original, reaction, execution. And in my experience, before anybody actually gives birth to a business, they go through these 4 steps. So there's some catalytic moment, something happens where it creates this idea for a business. So it's like, it's like the big bang. It's like this idea of a business comes into your head. And then once that idea comes in, you sort of have a thought about it. And there are a lot of people that go through the first, second, or third stages, but they never get to the 4th stage, which is why they never have a business. So what I mean is, you'll have your creative catalytic moment where you think about your business, and then you have a thought about it. And that thought inspires like a reaction where you're like, I'm going to do this business. And then E is execution. You actually do it. And that's what makes you an entrepreneur, right? A lot of people, something happens, but they just miss the opportunity. They don't even see it. They don't even give it a second thought. Other people are like, oh, they see something like, oh, I should start a business. They have a reaction, but they don't actually execute it. They don't actually execute on it. So when we do our core exercise, we always ask people, what was the catalytic moment? What made you want to do the business? What was your original thought? What was your reaction? And then how and why did you execute? So I'm telling you that because it's going to make sense in a minute. But for my particular business, my catalytic moment when I was around 12 years old, and I saw my dad coming home from work every day miserable. So I'm just a 12-year-old kid. What do I know? But I got a message that jobs sucked. And I knew that I didn't want a job. I didn't want to come home and complain. I didn't want to be miserable like my dad. So that's when the first sort of idea about being my own boss or being an entrepreneur, even though I didn't know what an entrepreneur was, that was my catalytic moment. That was my creative moment. My original thought was, jobs suck. They're like bondage. Again, I didn't know what bondage meant, but I just knew it wasn't a good thing. And my reaction was, I'm never going to be in that position. I'm never going to have a job. And then the execution was, years and years later, even on a subconscious level, working towards being free. I'm telling you that because I'm going to show you my logo in just a second. So when you take a look at my logo, because we're talking about branding here, hold on a second. When you take a look at my logo, right, this is how my brand came to be. So the fist is about empowerment. It's about power and it's about freedom. You guys are entrepreneurs. You want money. You want freedom. You want a legacy. You don't want to have a boss, right? So for me, my marketing is about freedom. I'm not just selling you a service or product. I am giving you freedom. That is why I chose the fist, right? The fonts that I've chose, they're not curly Q. They're not all, they're boom. They're the name of this particular font is actually called Impact, right? So I deliberately chose an impact font. The colors that I chose, blue, again, because I'm a senior level marketer, I do color psychology. When I did my research, which we talked about in the presentation, when I did my research, it told me that blue is associated with trust and credibility and longevity and seriousness. So I'm like, that's how I want to be perceived in the marketplace. So I chose a blue. I didn't choose a dark blue because it's too heavy. And as you can see, I'm very animated. So I needed something a little bit lighter. I also realized in me differentiating myself from other marketing companies that I'm not serious. If I wanted to be serious, I would stay in corporate. I want to have fun. I want to live my life, but I have all of the skills in academics and success of any other chief marketing officer. I just don't want to put on I just don't want to put on makeup and heels every day, right? I like to have fun. When you do some research with when you do research on color psychology, you'll find out that the color associated with fun is orange. That is why my logo looks like this. It's all about branding, but it all started from that catalytic moment, right? And that's how Mappdom does our brand exercise for people. It happened with that catalytic moment, that creative moment, when I saw my dad come home, hating his job. And my original thought was, never me. I'm about freedom. And I work to become an entrepreneur, right? That we're going to talk about that a little bit. You have to go back to your brand story. Why did you start your brand? Why do you want to have a cafe for artists? Or why do you want to provide consultations? Why do you want to have Bohemian food? Why do you want to have these things, right? And once you can get your own brand story, it's going to help you create your brand, and that's going to help you market yourself to the right market. So again, coming back to Mappdom, authenticity, I'm very me. Like, I don't try to be anything but me. My personality is infused into my business. I have a commitment to entrepreneurs. My differentiation is I position myself as a leader in the marketplace, right? I speak on stages. I just don't have a little marketing company, right? My values are about helping companies and entrepreneurs succeed and grow and to make money so that they can invest and live off of passive income and live a good life and not have to worry about a job, be able to spend time with their family. That is the value of my company, right? So that is how you have to think about your own company so that you can create your brand and your brand identity. So we're going to talk about branding, all the different elements of a brand, how to help you develop your brand, and the importance of your brand story, which I just covered a little bit right here. So branding is the process of creating a strong, positive perception of your company, its products, services in the customer's mind by combining different elements. Like I said, like your logo, your design, your mission statement, which for me is to empower small entrepreneurs to access freedom with, stellar marketing, right? And you have to have a consistent theme throughout all of your marketing communications. So even on my emails, like my email signature is like love Nakimbe. That's not very professional, but I'm not trying. It's like, if you like me, if you like my results, you will do business with me. And if you don't, there are lots of other marketing companies out there, right? So even as a business, you may want all the business in the world, but you really do want your ideal client, or they're going to make your life miserable, right? So 87% of consumers say that a consistent brand across all on and offline traditional platforms is important for their experience. Meaning, again, with McDonald's, it doesn't matter where you go in the world, you always will recognize those golden arches, and they're always the same yellow. They're not neon yellow in the United States, and they're not like orangey yellow in Canada, and they're not like a different yellow in Japan. It's the same. It's consistent. And that, on a psychological perspective, just makes people feel comfortable. It makes them trust you. You don't want to have a website that, looks wonderful and glorious and amazing, and then they walk into your establishment and it doesn't match your website. It looks like crap. The servers are rude. Your emails are all fancy, highfalutin language, and then they call your customer service line and it's a completely different experience. It has to be like they're moving seamlessly from one experience, your social media, your website, everything just has to feel like it's all one seamless stream. One of the ways in which you can do that is by creating an actual brand document or having a style guide. This is basically an instruction manual for your business on how to communicate your brand, what colors and color codes you should use, standard messaging, how you talk in your company. Again, some of you may be familiar with Virgin Mobile. They're very sort of casual and colloquial, whereas you have someone like Bell Canada and Rogers, and they may be a little bit more serious. So you want to have brand guidelines. I remember there was one lady who was working with us, and she hadn't read our company's guidelines, and she was speaking to our customers in such a like cold, professional, distant way. I was like, you don't have to do that. That's not how we roll here, right? The customer was taken back in a jar because she had this wonderful, warm experience with me and the rest of the team, and then she meets this other person who's completely cold. So all of those things matter, the visual details, your company's voice, tone, and messaging. Some of the things that you want to include in your brand document was, just like I said, have a great brand story, right? Have a great brand story. Everyone can connect to, everyone can understand why we have these logos, why we say what we say, why we do what we do. It helps with sort of team cohesion. Whether, people come in or out, people can come in and out of your business, just like there are bands. How there are bands or they're a music group and somebody might leave and then they bring somebody else in, but it's the same band and still has the same feel. No matter if you have different editors, different people in your company that come and go, different videographers, different graphic designers, there's going to be fluidity and change in your business. But as long as your brand story remains the same, whoever onboards with you will understand and be on the same page. So it's not like you're starting over from scratch every time. So again, your brand document should include your logo and, something that recognizable to your brand. If you think about Starbucks, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Dell, Apple, when I put Adidas, when I put out those names, you instantly kind of see their logo, right? It's got to be a recognizable brand signature with the color palettes and the different fonts that you use. Again, I won't get into it, but in terms of some of the psychological stuff with marketing and aesthetics and sort of architecture, it's good to have a font with it's good to have serif font and sans serif font, and that is called font pairing. So normally you'll have your one dominant font and then you'll have a secondary font. Again, that's more higher level, sophisticated corporate stuff. But if you want to know why corporations work so well, why they make the money they make, it's because they're really good at these subtleties. They've researched, they've drilled down, whereas most entrepreneurs do a lot of their marketing on a very surface level. So again, having 2 different types of fonts would be a part of your brand voice, your imagery, right? That all helps to inform, like if you have a restaurant, the menu style, all of that, like your mobile app, all of that sort of comes into play. Let me get this out of the way. Okay. All right, so here's an example of a brand document that I actually did for that nonprofit organization. So these are their brand colors. So these are the main colors. You'll never see a darker blue or a brighter orange. It's the same. Again, providing that nice, consistent, trustworthy feeling in businesses. This is a business that helps Black entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs of color. And so we use images that match their target audience. We did research on, what types of businesses Afro-Caribbean Canadians tend to be in. They tend to be in the food and beverage industry. They tend to be in entertainment and arts. Some professionals, and I can't remember what the 4th one was. Health and wellness, right? So we made sure in their social media and in their brand document, like, look, we use images of people that look like this, people that are in the food industry, because your marketing has to call out and identify your ideal buyer. They have to recognize themselves in your service and product. They have to see, oh, you provided a solution for them. They're just like me. You can probably provide a solution for me. So again, it's not just random, pick any picture of any old person. It's very, very strategic. So this is sort of like just the different pages of what a brand document looks like. Does anybody have any questions about anything that we've covered? Because I think we only have, what time is it? Let me see. Yeah, we have about 40 minutes to cover the next 3 sessions. So that's pretty good. Does anybody have any questions? If so, you can just speak out or put it in the chat. Otherwise, we will move on. Going once.
Question.
Yeah. Shan.
Sorry. Is there any company that provide some branding advice or doing some brand for new small business? Is there any assistance like for free, or is there any application that we can do some like logos? We need some kind of like branding. Is there any website or anything that you can provide us that we can do it like for free?
Okay, well, okay, so if you guys, I'll put my email address in the chat if anybody wants to email and follow up with me. I have a system, like I said, the SOLD system, SOLD, which tells you how to get leads online for free, how to market your business for free. But outside of that, I mean, people will just expect you to like go on YouTube or do your own kind of research and put your own plan together. There's nobody, I mean, you might be able to go to a nonprofit organization, and there are government agencies either on the federal, provincial, or local municipal level. Like at Toronto City Hall, for example, they have the small business, whatever, and they will have free seminars, free resources. They can show you how to do a marketing plan. You can do their seminars to learn about social media. But at the end of the day, if you want anyone to do anything for you, you're going to have to learn how to do it yourself, or you're going to have to pay. No one's doing anything for you for free. There are, of course, things like ChatGPT and Midjourney, which we'll talk about later, that can give you ideas and marketing plans, but they're usually kind of shallow, not that robust, and not very specific. So at the end of the day, you really kind of have to learn to do it on your own. And that's basically why I created the system I created, to make it step by step and simple and structured. Otherwise, people are sort of scattered and looking all over the place online and trying to figure out how to do it themselves online. And without guidance, they just basically end up spinning their wheels. But so, Shan, what's your business and how have you been trying to market it? What challenges are you having, or like how can I be more helpful or more specific to your particular situation?
Oh, thank you so much. I'm trying to do some like import and export business.
Okay.
So yeah, now actually now I'm thinking about just I finished the name. Now I'm thinking about the branding and logo.
Okay.
I myself did some like simple and Photoshop, but I need like more like professional for my logos and Facebook and social media. So yeah, this is a import and export company,
Okay, what are
and
you importing and
it's mostly it's like dry fruit.
dry fruit? Okay. Who would your target market be? Who are you going to be selling this to and where?
As a newcomer, I'm living in Ottawa. My first target is like our people who are living in Ottawa and Toronto. So I talk with some small business around the city, like it's belong to the Afghan people and
Mhm.
Iranian people. What I find is like Afghans and Iranian, uh, they are more like asking for dry fruit from Afghanistan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are going to import organic dried fruit mainly to the Iranian or Middle Eastern market that's interested in that and cannot get it here, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think that your branding is going to want to have something reminiscent of the tradition or the region. You know, if it's sweet or organic or whatever is special about it, you're going to want to make that known. In terms of your promotion, you would probably do things maybe more local, like you said, going to local markets. You may also want to have something online. You can have a social media presence where you'll have to do a lot of outreach. Again, we're going to talk about that in the latter half of this, but have outreach where, you have people try it, test it, do videos about it, give testimonials, and then you can use all that kind of stuff in your marketing. But it does take time. Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
I would definitely use ChatGPT. Just say, ChatGPT, act as a business advisor. I'm a newcomer to Canada. I want to start an import-export business with dry fruits to the Iranian market. Can you create a marketing plan for me for less than $100? And it will tell you exactly what to do.
Okay, thank you. I share my email with you, and
Yes.
thank you.
I see it here. So I'll get a copy afterwards. All right, excellent. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the 5 P's of marketing. And that's, when you're thinking about your business, things you should think of, which would be obviously what's the product and what's your price and where are you going to promote it? How are you going to promote it? The places in which you're going to promote it, the people that you're going to promote it to. Right. So you need to have the perfect combination of all of those things in order to really hit the mark in terms of selling your product. So you need to be able to supply the right service or product at the right price, positioned in the market at the right way, that's going to get the attention of the right people. So let me see here. All right. So, so again, using my company as an example, our services or products is we do marketing strategy. That's the first thing we do. So we provide marketing strategy and then the execution for social media, whatever you need. We just basically provide all marketing solutions. I target my market to corporate executives that are looking, that they have a side business, they make money, they can afford our services and products. And they're looking for a way to replace their income in retirement. Like that is a very specific group or demographic to go after. But I know a couple things. I know that they're still working, so I know that they have money. I know that they're professionals, so they respect and appreciate my professional, experience and education. I've tried to work with other people, for as low as $350 a month to help people out, that doesn't end up doing anything good for me or my company. I realize people that are at that price point when they're starting their business are also not that serious or successful yet. So it's very easy for them to say, I don't want this anymore. Whereas somebody that I know who's been in business for, 3, 5, 7 years, they're investing a certain amount of money a month. I know that they're very serious about their business. So you have to be very specific. Like I said, the 10 commandments. That's what I mean when I say know thy business and thy business be true. Know thy competitors' ways and you'll never be blue. I know my competitors' strengths and weaknesses, right? Shine thy light on what makes thou great. I know, again, why someone should do business with our marketing company as opposed to someone else. I know who my target market is, right? It's, again, professionals that want to start a side business or have a side business. So I position myself as an expert. I position myself as a thought leader. I position myself as someone who goes after professional and expert entrepreneurs. I'm more likely to market on LinkedIn as opposed to TikTok, right? So you have to know all of these things in order to get the right marketing message. So some of the things that you might want to talk about when you're looking at these 5 Ps, when you're talking about your product, when you're talking about the price, the promotion, the place, and the people, some of the things that you can talk about in your marketing would be not just, oh, you have this product, you have this product, you have this product, you have the product. Who cares? Who cares? Lots of people have the same product as you. Be specific. Like the 10 commandments say, be thy not general or your business will fall ill. What does that mean? When you're talking about your product, talk about how the product functions. It works like this. It's dishwasher safe. It doesn't break. It da 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 da. How does it function? Then talk about its appearance. It's sleek. It's got this silver chrome. It's, how does it look? Then talk about your warranties. Our product is so good. We guarantee these results, or we have this kind of quality. We sell saffron to, which is a spice. This was actually one of the access people in a cohort before you guys, but she sold saffron. And I'm like, who cares? Right? Like lots of people sell saffron. Businesses and restaurants are trying to cut costs, but she was talking about the quality of her product in the region of the world from which it comes, and that the mineral content in the soil and how it's absorbed, and it gives the saffron a better taste, which brings out and enlivens the foods and the flavors in other foods. And that's why this restaurant's food tastes so good, where you can get this imitation, boiled down saffron over here. And that's how she's able to sell her saffron, her spice, at a higher price point. And again, so you have to be specific. She's not just talking about her product, saffron, 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 right? She talked about the region. She talked about the soil, and you can talk about the packaging. Our packaging is made with biodegradable ingredients, or, our packaging is whatever, or just make the packaging look nice, right? Talk about the price. What's the price? What differentiates your price from other people's prices? And then you might want to say, oh, we're having a sale. We're offering some discounts, right? Then like, oh, if you can't afford $10,000, we have a payment plan. You can pay for $2,500 a month for the next 4 months, right? Car companies do that all the time, right? They don't just say our car is $34,000 or $43,000. They tell you they have payment plans. All of this information gives you content that you can use for marketing. One of the challenges a lot of entrepreneurs say, oh, I don't know what to market. I don't know what to write about. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Just think about the 5 Ps: your product, your price, your promotion, place, and people, and just get specific about that. All the different ways that you can promote your business. You can have sponsorships on billboards, or sponsor a little league, and have your logo on the back of their t-shirts. You can be in a local magazine. You can advertise on the radio, on the bench, in the subway, on a bus shelter, in a bus shelter, right? Public relations, you can have community service events, or hold a live radio something on location, right? So And then all the different places. Where is it distributed? Where can they find it? How can they access it? Do they download it? Are you going to mail it? Right? Service level. Do you have, basic, mid, and elite service levels? What are the different locations? So these are all things that you can talk about with relation to your marketing to, again, get the right message out there and attract your ideal audience. Oh, and before I move on, I want you to look at this. If anybody hasn't noticed, this could technically look like a calendar. It could technically look like a 1-month calendar where instead of product, price, promotion, place, and people, you can switch it out for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? So on Monday, you might want to talk about your product and this is how the product, this is how it works. This is how we serve at the cafe, or the cafe has art, or we have meat, whatever. Talk about the product, then talk about the price. It's free to get in. We have donation Tuesdays, Toonie Tuesdays, or pray what you can, or whatever. And then, your little cafe could sponsor something at a school. Hey, we're sponsoring this event at XYZ High School. Come and check us out, right? So every day of the week, you could technically have a post about your business, right? This is just, again, high level. This is the CEO of the company, and this is the employee of the month, or meet just in terms of people, or get testimonials from your clients, whatever, just talk about the people, right? So again, people even talk about their moms, like has nothing to do with their business. This is my mom, these are my kids, this is my dog, this is my fish that I caught, right? People don't just always want to know about your business as well. Sometimes they want to know about you as a person behind the scenes. And so let me just check the time. All right, good. All right. So one of the things I advise that you do, and I do this myself. I don't know if anybody, is into Hollywood or acting or movies, but there's an actor, Robert De Niro, and Robert De Niro, I think it's him, or maybe it's Al Pacino. It's probably Al Pacino. Anyway, one of them does something which I learned about, which is called method acting, where they immerse themselves so much in the characters that they are going to play. They basically become the character. So like they lose themselves. I encourage you as a business owner to do the same thing. Forget about yourself being a business owner. I want you to pretend you're the consumer. Start from scratch. You're looking for something. What are you going to do? Where do you search online? Who do you call? What website do you see? What do you experience? Are you frustrated because there aren't menus? Are you frustrated because you can't find a contact button? Does the website have too much information? Is your social media too boring? Is it too, put yourself in the experience of the customer. I'm having this challenge. I want to get this food from back home, or I need a place, where there are artists just like me. What's that person going to do to experience it? And again, just to go back to what I was saying earlier, I have this system called the SOUL system, Strategic Organic Leads on Demand, right? And I sell it online. And the whole thing for me, again, going back to what happened with, my dad, my whole thing is, hey, if you hate your job, if you want to start a business and, you're starting from scratch and you don't know where to start, follow the SOUL system. That is very boring, generic, amateur advertising. What I decided to do was actually go back to work. I wanted to experience what it was like to wake up to an alarm, because I've had a very comfortable, very, very comfortable life since like 2019. But what I decided to do was go back. What is it like to wake up to an alarm clock? What is it like to have to think about what am I going to wear the day before? What's it like to feel guilty that I'm not spending enough time with, my children? What's it like to try to schedule grocery time and shopping time in the week? What's it like to feel too tired to spend time with my spouse? What's it like to, know no matter how hard I work, I'm probably not going to beat outflation. What does it feel like to know that I'm not going to have enough money I'm fearful that I may not have enough money for my retirement. As a business owner, you have to put yourself in the consumer's shoes so that you can have more effective marketing. So what I mean is I could say something like, hey, everybody, buy my system. If you want to grow your business online and you want to get leads, buy the Soul System. Again, boohoo, yawn, who cares? That messaging does not pierce through the overcrowded noise of online, right? But if I'm specific and if I say, do you hate your job? Do you hate getting up every morning and knowing that life is going to look like this for the next 5 to 7 years? Is there something burning in your belly to help you be successful so that you can leave a legacy? Look, I understand it's difficult, it's confusing. Going online and trying to get these answers on your own is never going to work, but you probably can't afford an experienced chief marketing officer. So what are you supposed to do? I invite you to take a look at the Soul System, which shows you how to blah, 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 blah. And then I get into pitching my product. But if I don't understand the experience of my buyer, I can never speak to them. Again, going back to the 10 commandments, know thy audience ways and you'll never be blue, right? So you have to put yourself in their position. You have to feel their pain. You have to feel their yearning for wanting food back home. You have to like understand whatever it is you're offering, what is the consumer experience? Get out of your entrepreneur head and become the customer, right? Call yourself, look at your website, or what, as a consumer, what would you want your website to look like? What information do you want as a consumer? What's most important? Go and look at competitors. What are your potential customers seeing out there from competitors, right? So again, the experience, just like your marketing, it has to be a holistic perception of their experience or your brand from beginning to end, right? How they interact with your business, navigating your website to customer service, all of that is a part of the customer experience from A to Z. So like I said, putting yourself in their shoes, walking their walk, all the way to frustration, all the way to going online and looking for a solution, all the way to finding you. You want to have a great customer experience every step of the way so that when they find your website, when they call you on customer service, when they get the package, when they get the email, every touch point is a delight, which makes them get to know, like, trust, and love you and be a loyal customer for life. Because trust me, I'm sure you may have heard this before, it's way easier and cheaper to keep an existing customer than to try to go out and find a new one. Right? Once you have a customer, you can email them, you can follow up with them, you can provide them with great experiences. Whereas a brand new cold person, hey, does everybody want to just put themselves on mute, please? You want to be able to provide a great experience, right? An umbrella of quality. So like I said, it's effortless, simple, seamless, remarkable, memorable, and consistent. I see too many business owners like, oh, what logo do I like? What colors do I like? What do I want my website to look like? Oh, it's all about me. People don't care about what you want. You need to care about what the customer wants, right? Another reason why it's good to provide a good customer experience is because you can ask them for testimonials and reviews, and you can use this as a part of your marketing. It's one thing for me to say, oh yeah, my company's so great. I'm the greatest hot sauce company in the world. I'm the greatest import-export company. I have the greatest, business consulting agency. But people don't listen to you because they expect you to lie. They're skeptical and they know you're going to brag about yourself. But if Ed says, yeah, Nakimbe is highly skilled and passionate about her business and she delivers on her stuff, you're like, oh, okay. And it's not like it's an ad. I'm not shoving anything down your throat. I'm not telling you to buy my service or product. I'm just putting up an Instagram post or a Facebook post, right? And then the next week, like I have Testimonial Tuesday. So every Tuesday, I'll do a testimonial, right? So the first week, if you're following me on social media, you see this post by Ed. Oh, yeah, Nakimbe is highly skilled and passionate about her business, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, okay, that's really cool. And then the next week, you see something by Ricardo. It's like, yeah, simply put, Nakimbe is a powerhouse. Over the years, she has consistently demonstrated. You're like, oh, wow. Okay, cool. That's nice. And then the next week on another Tuesday, you're like, Nakimbe is an exceptional speaker who has you. And you're like, wow, okay. This Nakimbe chick really has it kind of going on. Right. So another reason why it's good to provide a good customer experience is so that you can collect these reviews and testimonials. And that also helps with search engine optimization if you get reviews and testimonials. All right, now moving on, I think we have one or two more sections to cover. So now we're going to focus on setting those objectives, right? So you have your marketing plan, you kind of know who you are, your brand story, your colors, your target market. Now you have to sort of do something with that information and package it and start to put together some plans that you can follow to make it all come together. So one of the things you want to look at is setting your marketing objectives, setting your target market, setting target market and your marketing objectives. That was a little bit of a tongue twister right there. So what does that mean? You want to make sure that your objectives are measurable. So don't just say, I want to make a lot of money this year. I want to make 6 figures this year. Do you want to make $100,000? Do you want to make $250,000? It has to be measurable so that you know that you hit this goal. There's an acronym for this, by the way. Some of you guys may know it. It's called SMART. SMART. Oh, so right. So it has to be specific, first of all, measurable, achievable, relevant, realistic, and time bound. So again, don't just say I want to make a lot of money, or I want to get more business, or I want to increase my online presence. That's very generic. It needs to be specific. So I want to grow my TikTok account. I want to grow on LinkedIn. I want to get 1,000 new people to my lead. I want to focus on video marketing on YouTube. You need to be very specific. I want to make $100,000. I want to make $50,000. I want to make $250,000. You need to be specific. It also needs to be measurable. So I want to get this many TikTok followers by this time. I want to have my website up by this time. I want to, grow my email list by 10% at this time. So it has to be measurable so that you can set benchmarks and you'll know if you're moving forward. If you can't measure it, you can't grow it, right? And then it has to be achievable. You can't be selling pastries for $5 a pop and think that you want to make $1 million, right? Like you got to think about in 3 months, right? So it has to be specific, measurable, but it also has to be achievable, like be a little bit realistic in your time frame. Do you want to do it in 3 months, a quarter, a year, 2 years, 5 years? Like what's your specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and realistic goal? And like I say, have them time bound. So you'll be able, when you do this, it gives you a sense of, like on a subconscious level, it gives you a sense of urgency. Oh my gosh, I have to get this done by, in 90 days. That means I have to do XYZ every single day. And every single day might be busy, but I'm going to etch out 15 minutes between this time and this time to make my video, or this time and this time to write my blog, or this time and this time to follow up with people, right? So again, your goals and objectives should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and realistic, and they should be time bound. And when you're thinking about your target markets, again, one of the 10 commandments was know thy audience, and to thy audience be true. So I could market, digital marketing service to anybody. I could be like, we offer digital marketing services, but I'm not speaking to anybody in particular. So no one is listening to me, right? So if you have a local business, right? If you have a restaurant here's an example. My sister-in-law, she has a puppy grooming business in Etobicoke. So she is focusing on local marketing tactics. She started a walking group. She does things in the community so that she's known in the community. Other people who maybe have an e-commerce business where anybody can buy their clothes online anywhere in the world at any time of day. That's going to be a different sort of marketing tactic, right? So who's your target market? Where are they geographically? Sociographically, where are they on the socioeconomic scale? Like, are you going after blue collar workers in the trade industry for construction? right? Or are you going after, I don't know, doctors and lawyers to offer them digital marketing services or business consultation services? It's just like a lot of brands, like car companies, for example, they'll have their, and I talked about this earlier, they'll have their high, medium, and low tier cars. So for Honda, for example, I think there's Honda and then there's Acura, and I don't even remember them. But there's Metro, and then there's their bargain brand. So it just depends on what socioeconomic group you're going after is going to determine a lot of things. I mean, if you're going after executives, you might want to advertise in an airport executive lounge, right? That's very different than handing out flyers for a club or a community event, right? So you got to think about the geographics as well as the sociographic positioning of your target market. Then look at demographics. What age are they? What sex are they? Are you going after men, women, both? People with amorphous identities, whatever. Who are you going after? Are you going after people that are 18 to 34? Are you going after people that are 34 to 54? Are you going after people that are 54 and up? Are you going after retirement people? And yes, of course, I know if you're selling food, everybody eats food, right? So, my product is good for everybody. But again, you got to be specific and you got to niche down. So you might have a food campaign for older people that are maybe concerned with health benefits. So you might want to talk about the health and nutrition, content of your food. Whereas you can also talk about your great food or restaurant to 18 to 30-year-olds, but more talking about the nutrients and the energy that it gives them, or, that whatever, there's no chemicals or toxins in these particular hamburgers because these guys care about their face and acne and pimples and stuff like that. So you have to know what, the different age groups, that's the demographics. That's going to inform what you say, the music you use, the references that you use. There are slang that older people use, like cool and groovy. And then there are other people that use these terms that I have no idea what these young people are saying, right? So you have to know your demographic. And are you speaking, like I said, to males or females? Are you just with those two particular spectrums? So, a lot of women tend to be on TikTok. If you're, doing stuff for men, it might be automotive. So you just have to know the demographics, the sex, and the age group of your people, as well as how do they behave? Are they environmentally conscious? Is that something they care about? Do they go on trips and vacations? Are they very thrifty? Are they, you have to know how to behave. Are they relaxed? Are they sort of relaxed like me and you can talk to them in a sort of laid back, casual way? Are they very traditional and they respect titles and you need to speak to them in a certain way? So you have to know how people behave. Are they environmentally conscious? Do they care about that kind of thing? Do they throw away stuff or do they recycle? Like, how do they behave? And then their psychographics, like, how do they think? What's their psychological sort of makeup? Like, it's almost like behavior, but like politically, which way do they lean? Are they, what do they think about religion? So this is kind of like their psychological makeup, their culture, their background, their sort of school experience, maybe experience with governments. Like, what's their psychology? Because that's going to impact how they behave. And even though they're closely related, they are a little bit different. So again, when you're thinking about your target market, that's why I say you've got to be specific, not just, oh, I'm going to sell my product. I'm selling my product. I'm selling my product. I'm selling my product, right? Where are you selling it? To whom are you selling it? How do they think? How do they behave? That's all going to inform what you do in your marketing. And once you know those kind of marketing objectives, right? Here are some of the different marketing objectives one can have. So for me specifically, next year, I want to grow my email list. The larger my email list, the more people that I have to market to. typically in the industry, there's about a 15 to 20% open rate. So I know if I have like 10,000 people on my list, I know that only, 1,500 people are going to open that email. And of those 1,500 people, only 3% of them are going to click. And of those 3% that click, only 1% is going to buy. So I'm able to reverse engineer my numbers. Again, that's part of being a senior level executive and thinking about marketing in a way that most small business entrepreneurs don't, so that I'm able to work backwards. So if this many people click and this many people buy and this many people opt in and this many people open, maybe I need to have 20,000 people on my email list or 50,000 people on my email list to hit my sales objectives. So I wouldn't just be focusing on sales. My first objective would be to grow my email list, right? Or lead generation. So that's just one example of what I'm focusing on 2024. In 2024, I'm also focusing on growing my YouTube channel. I already have maybe 575 subscribers. Once we get to 1,000, I can start to monetize my channel. So that'll be a second revenue stream, right? So these are objectives and plans and things you have to think about ahead of time. You cannot think about it on the fly or on the spot. It doesn't work. This is stuff that I researched, stuff that I thought about, what goals and objectives we want to hit, how we're going to hit those goals and objectives, and work backwards from there. So these are some of the marketing objectives you can go after. You might want to promote a new service or product. I'm selling the Soul System. You might want to grow your digital presence. So maybe you don't have a website yet. So that could be one of your goals, to have a website by March of 2024. Or you want to put up your TikTok page or your TikTok channel or your YouTube channel. Like, you might want to grow your digital presence. You want to post more, right? Lead generation. Maybe you want to get more leads. Maybe right now it's not about selling directly, but it's more about building trust and providing value so that you can sell to people later on. Maybe you want to get new customers because your old customers are falling off. Maybe you have a gym and people are not renewing their gym memberships because they've got home equipment or whatever. You need to go after new customers. One of your marketing objectives could be to retain existing customers. That's a completely different marketing campaign. You don't necessarily need to win them over on, social media or whatever. You might focus more on loyalty programs like, hey, every year we'll give you a discount on your birthday, or, thanks for, being with us for the last 3 years. Here's a free XYZ. You might want to showcase or highlight your existing customers on your social media so that they feel recognized and appreciated. That will make them want to stay with you more, right? You may have a program where you're like, hey, buy one, get one free when you bring in your sister, brother, mother, aunt to our store, right? So it's a way for you to attain existing customers, develop brand loyalty. You may have a goal to make more money this year. So maybe you're going to increase the prices of everything by 10%. Maybe you're going to introduce a new product or product line. Maybe you're going to offer additional services to increase sales or revenue. And sometimes you can have sales and revenue, but you're not profitable, right? All the money comes in, comes right back out. So how can you increase profit? So those are some of the marketing objectives that you guys can look at. And with that, I am going to stop sharing. I'm going to take a break. What time is it? So I think we can probably meet till about 10 after 11. And that will give us 10 after 11. Yeah, then we'll have like another hour and 15 minutes, which I think we've already spent. Yeah, so does anybody have any questions, concern, feedback? Do you need any clarity on anything before we go on to our break for 13 minutes or so? No, we're all good. I see a hand up. Go ahead.
May I?
Yes, yeah. Sorry, I didn't call your name.
I would like to say one thing. This is amazing. Marvel, and actually, I feel a lot of oxygen right now because I already forget this feeling. But so many precious pieces of information, which I think how I should forget it because too much information, and this is amazing information. I want to thank you very much, and please share your links on social media and YouTube also, and I will definitely will describe
Yay,
the
yeah. I
to our
am happy.
subscriber. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you for that feedback. Yeah, like I said, it's a lot of information we cover, but it really isn't something that's readily accessible out there. Like for you guys to get all this information, you'd be here, there, and everywhere, and it wouldn't be this deep. Most of the information that you get on blogs is very sort of surface and shallow. So this is meant to, like I said, at least give you the skeletal framework upon which you can build in the future. And like I said, if you just ever go back to the 10 Commandments, you'd be like, okay, what's my business? Who are my competitors? You know, who's my target audience? Why am I better than everybody else? What's my messaging? You guys will be okay. So since we chatted, yeah, let's see. Let's come back at 11:15 since we chat a little bit. So take a 17-minute break and then we will be together until 12:30. Okay, guys? See you in a little bit.
See you.
Resume recording. Wonderful. Okay, so I hope everybody had a great little break. I went and had 2 tacos, so I'm excited about that. Anyway, so what we're going to be covering in the second half of the presentation, I guess over the next hour and 15 minutes, is going to be part 2. So we're going to look at brand recognition. We've already talked a little bit about branding, but we'll talk about brand recognition, generating sales, and gaining a competitive edge, which I've already touched on. We're going to look at different marketing toolkits and annual planning templates. We're going to take a look at how to manage your marketing budget, especially when you don't have one. What do you do? Which again is why I created the Soul System Strategic Organic Leads on Demand, because you know what it is? I have worked with companies that literally spend $100,000 a day in ads. Okay. They spend $100,000 a day in ads, $30,000 a day in ads, and other people with zero marketing budget. So I have seen the whole gamut and the whole spectrum. And yeah, again, if you're just strategic, you can become successful enough online without a budget to make enough money to invest in paid ads and scale if you want to. But not everybody wants to. I think I told you guys earlier about my product and now being a salesperson, not just marketing it, but actually going out there and selling it, talking to people, getting feedback, doing research. And a lot of people don't have a lot of money and they're focusing on relationship building. They're focusing on, like I said, building relationships, which is what else we're going to talk about, building relationships and networking strategies for a small business, where it may take a little bit of time. It seems like it's more work sometimes to go out and meet people and talk to people, but the information that you gather will be invaluable to your business. And sometimes you can spend, you know, a lot of money and a little bit of time just taking out ads and nothing ever happens. So, you know, it's, you know, 6 or half a dozen, or however you want to look at it. And then we're going to take the latest marketing trends and technology, which I think I've already alluded to a little bit, especially AI, artificial intelligence, and how that can help you in your business. So let's start off with brand recognition, sales, and having your competitive advantage. Excuse me, this is not something to get overly confused about, but basically, when you want to position yourself in the marketplace, you can have like an XY axis where you just sort of draw like a big plus sign or a big X, T, or whatever. And then you can have on the spectrum high price to low price. So one end of the spectrum would be price, high price, the one end of the spectrum would be low price, the other end of the spectrum would be high price. And then on the Y-axis, you might have high touch or low touch, or high tech or low tech, right? So what you're able to do is you're able to sort of look at your competitors and you're able to sort of plot them on this cloud. So, you can say that Lexus, for example, is, high end and high touch and high cost, whereas Kia might be lower cost and lower touch. Like you might not have that sort of executive level service when you go in to service your car, right? And so when you are able to create this like positioning chart, this XY axis kind of thing, and plot your business, you will be able to see where you are positioned in the marketplace. So people usually do that so that they can accentuate their competitive advantage, right? You can say, oh, we provide white glove service, or you can say we're really cost effective. Pardon me. So here is an example, right? You can have, if you're looking at cost, you can focus on cost, you can focus on leadership, you can focus on being like really differentiating yourself and being niche, or you can focus on speaking to a wide variety of people. And so, like I said, sometimes this chart can be a little bit confusing, but basically all you really need to know is if you just take an XY axis, make an X, and just put two different things that you want to pride your business on, whether it's quality or service or price, then you can position yourself in the market and you'll know how your competitors compare to you, and you'll know how to not only position yourself in the market, but also use that for your marketing language. So with that last example that I gave you in terms of these people are looking at their competitive advantage and positioning in the marketplace. So in terms of cost, that's what Walmart focuses on, right? They focus on cost leadership. They're the lowest prices, lowest prices. So you sort of know who their demographic is and who they are catering to. And then you'll have something like Nordstrom. Nordstrom bills itself on differentiating itself by providing like designer merchandise and exceptional service. You're not getting exceptional service and differentiation at Walmart, right? So they're competitors, but they're not necessarily competitors because they're positioning themselves differently. Again, in terms of your target, it's also about cost and uniqueness, but you'll see with Dollar General or Dollarama, anything like that, their focus is also on cost, whereas, a more niche specific one-off store that's not a franchise is going to have very unique designs, individual pieces. It's not off the sort of factory belt. So once again, you know how to position yourself in the market. You'll still have competitors, but you're able to position yourself, where you want to in the marketplace. All right. So in order to do that, what you're going to have to do is, like I said earlier, you're going to have to, Dan, did you have a question?
Yes, can you go back to the last page, please?
Yeah.
So here, on the left, by broad target and narrow target, what do they each mean? The terms.
Yeah, so from my understanding, so if you're looking at Nordstrom, I don't know if they have one in Toronto, but it's specialty, but it's big. You see, it's like sort of like a big department store. So they have like a broad market. Target is also, not Target, sorry, Walmart is also broad. So they're appealing to a lot of people, but in their specific demographic. Whereas a narrow target market, these guys are only looking for people that are, they want things that are like $1 or less. It's a very specific a very specific segment of the market that they're going to be focusing their marketing to. And these guys are also, they have a narrow target. They're looking for people that are into, one of a kind item, designer fashion. They don't mind paying $1,000 for a shirt. That's a very narrow market. Whereas Nordstrom, they also have, designer stuff, but it's for a larger group, more like a department store as opposed to like a one-off boutique. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Wonderful. So when you're trying to differentiate yourself in the market, the only way you're going to be able to do that is, of course, is to look at your competitors. So I always advise people, to look at their top 3 competitors. And when I'm testing an entrepreneur to see how sophisticated they are, how robust they are in their business, how serious they are about their business, like, their level of what I call marketing sophistication. When I ask them, who are your top 3 competitors? If they tell me right away, my top 3 competitors are this person, this person, this person, then I know that that's a serious entrepreneur that's doing their work and they're serious about success. They've done that other stuff. Other people ask them, like, who are your 3 competitors? And they don't even know. Like, if you don't know who your top 3 competitors are, it's not that you're not serious about your business, but you don't know how not serious about your business you are. Because you have to, at least off the top of your head, know who your top 3 competitors are. You have to keep up with them. You have to see if they're changing their dynamics. You have to sort of keep up with the times. Are they getting more customers? Are they losing market share? Are they more innovative, more tech, better quality? Like, who are your competitors? In the corporate world, we know who our competitors are. There's such a thing as corporate espionage, to the point where people will send spies into other companies, especially software companies. And tech companies, they'll send spies into other companies to go back and report to their company what their competitor is doing. That is how serious about competitive research they are. Yeah, and they say, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. It's the same thing. You have to know who your top 3 competitors are, because if you don't, they can easily overtake you in the marketplace and you'll be left there scratching your head wondering why, right? So you want to also see how you can compete. Again, there are lots of cars, right? But Rolls-Royce is not competing with Kia, right? Range Rover is not really competing with Lexus, because they are competing on different things. They are going after different target markets. Again, the lady that I mentioned earlier, who was in Access, and she was in a cohort prior to you guys, who was selling the saffron spice to restaurants, right? If she can't compete on price because her saffron's more expensive than everybody else's, but she is able to compete on quality. And so she's obviously going to go after higher end restaurants that charge more, that cater to a higher spending clientele, because they want to be able to say that they use the finest ingredients on the planet, so they can charge, $1,500 a plate, right? So you have to know what you're competing on. Mappdom, my company, we do not compete on price, because I certainly do not have I'm probably mid-tier. I don't have the lowest prices, but I don't have the highest prices in the industry either. Sorry, but we compete on quality. We get results. So again, if you, and other people, they like to have fancy appearance and wear pearls and designer suits and stuff like that. If you are looking for that from me, then I'm not the marketing person for you. If you're looking for results and you want to have fun and we're like real people talking to each other, then that's fine. If you want me to charge you $50,000 because I have, I have an office on the 54th floor at the corner of Bay and King, then I can do that too. But that's not my gig, right? So you have to know who you are. That's where the branding comes into place. You have to be sort of authentic. Pardon me. So once you know your competitive edge, what do you do better than anyone else? Why should people do business with you as opposed to your competitor? So again, you'll have to answer those questions for yourself. But for Mappdom, we are thought leaders, we are publishers, we are award winners. We, have worked from blue chip corporations, Fortune 500 companies with mergers and acquisitions up to $3.85 billion, all the way to the single mom strapped cash startup entrepreneur, right? Who are you asking for? Can they say that? Are they leaders? Are they innovative? Like, are they able to help you get results? What's their track record? So those are all things. Oh, sorry. Those are things that Mappdom sort of competes on. I don't know what happened to my presentation. Let me get back here for you. Slideshow. I'm not sharing my screen anymore, am I? Did it cut off? Or am I sharing my screen?
You're not sharing your screen, it cut off.
Okay, thank you. Let me get back here. Share screen. There we go.
I almost thought
We
that
can see it
picture
now.
of you is. I almost thought that picture of you is a slide of the PPT. So I
That's
thought,
funny. It's fine. Okay, so yeah, when you're doing your research again, remember the 10 commandments, know thy business and thy business be true, follow thy competitor's ways and know thy competitor's ways and you'll never be blue, shine thy light on what makes thou great, and then honor your audience segments in every single way. So yeah, let's go next. What's next? What's happening here? Alrighty, now we're going to talk about a marketing budget. I am going to assume that everybody's marketing budget is zero, right? But just to sort of give completeness and completion to this particular part of our presentation, let me see what's next. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So basically, this is what I'm going to say. Sorry, let me put this on mute because I keep coughing in your ear and I feel so badly. I don't know. I guess I should get some water. But anyway, so I'm going to assume that most people have a budget of zero, which means that you're going to have to do purely organic marketing, and that's marketing that you don't have to pay for. Now, I think the mistake that people make is they don't know how to be strategic about it. And again, that's why I created my system, the SOUL system, because it stands for Strategic Organic Leads on Demand. So what I tell people is start with video marketing. If you have no money, start to market your business with video. Start to do product demonstrations. Take us on a day behind the scenes or an over the shoulder look at what it's like to be in your shoes. Do a video about yourself, a CEO profile, why you started the business, some of the challenges, look at your family, just do random videos, make videos. Talk about your product, how it started, why it's better. Go into ChatGPT and say, hey, I need some 1-minute video clip ideas about my business. This is what my business is about, right? Start to make videos. Once you make videos, you can start to put them on all of the social media platforms, and videos don't take a lot of time. That's why I say start with videos if you have no money. Again, that's why the SOUL system, SOLD, Strategic Organic Leads on Demand, says start with video. So my system, just so you know, it talks about the 12 places where you can get leads for free, starting with the simple, easiest, lowest hanging fruit, less like the least complex marketing tactic, which I say is video. You can do, like I say, a day in the life product demonstration. You can do a PowerPoint presentation and turn that into a video. You can take a bunch of pictures and turn that into a video with some music behind it, right? You can have testimonial videos. You can have all kinds of videos and put them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, LinkedIn, your email signature, right? Your stories on Instagram. And what's nice about that is once you have a video, you can then put it into artificial intelligence and ask it to transcribe it for you. And now you'll have written text. Now you will have content for a newsletter. Now you will have content for a social media quote card. Now you'll have something to whatever. You'll have written content. So from your video content, you have written content, and that gives you the assets and the ability to sort of leverage that in other places, right? If you focus on blogging first, you have to think about topics. So, I mean, I guess it's different now again because you had ChatGPT, but whatever. You still have to take time. You still have to come up with the article ideas. You still have to have the articles written. You still have to go to your website. And if you're not technically savvy, you have to put that blog on your website. You also should have images on your blog. You should have anchor text in your blog. So that takes a lot of time, right? Other ways that you can get free leads would be through local marketing, right? Having your Google business page and getting reviews and testimonials. You can also get free leads from social media. You don't need any money to post on Instagram, Facebook, and try to get followers, try to get people to follow you. So these are all things that you can do with no money. Now with the SOUL system, which this presentation is not about, but I'm just talking about this because it's built for people that don't have money. It has 12 different steps, 12 different channels from which you can get free leads. Maybe I'll show you guys a picture of it after the presentation. But the first step is video marketing. And then we talk about getting leads from local marketing, then mobile marketing, things like getting a QR code or having a presentation and telling people, okay, if anyone's interested and they want to book a strategy call with me, just text your phone number to 416, blah, 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 blah. And then they send you a text message, and now all of a sudden you have 30 leads that you didn't have before, right? And then you can get leads through blogging and all those things. But all of those things, all of the other things take time, and they're not as effective as video. So we always tell people, if you have no money, the first marketing channel you should use is video. It's quick, easy, fast, effective, free. The algorithms like it. They're shareable 1,200 times more than written content or banners or images, right? So once you start, having a lot of videos in a lot of places, and you have your link to collect leads in those videos, then you can set up your email marketing platform. And, once those people see your video and they click on the link to book a call or to get on your email list, you can start to ask ChatGPT to write you some emails where you can follow up with them, right? So you can start to grow your business without any budget until you start to develop some synergy and momentum and success, and we'll go faster and faster and faster. You'll get more and more leads, you'll get more and more sales, you'll make more and more customers, make more and more money. And then when you have more money and you know what's worked from all the free stuff you've done, then you can invest in paid ads. Then you'll know for sure, well, LinkedIn really did work for us, but Instagram didn't, or TikTok really worked for us, but our blogs didn't really hit. This video on this topic did really well, but nobody seems to care about this, or we had more sales from these types of people than these types of people, or whatever. And then you can take your money and wisely and strategically put it into paid ads, right? So that's what you do if you have no marketing budget. Now, excuse me, I will have to, I think next time I do this presentation, I'm going to put some more slides in here, since I'm focusing on this a little bit more than I used to. But one thing you should know is, once you start moving into paid ads, the minimum that you should expect to put aside would be $1,500. They say the minimum to invest in paid ads per day is $50 a day. So when you're looking at 30 days in a month, you're looking at spending $1,500 a month. Now, another thing you have to understand is that is the bare minimum. And that's not going to be super effective. It's not strategic, and it's not the way that corporations and super successful marketers do it. We don't invest $50 a day into marketing, because with that, you can probably only run one type of ad. So you're not getting any feedback. You're not getting anything to compare it to. You want to get the best performing ad, and you're not going to know what that is if you're only running one ad. So all of the experts, and this is like, I'm sorry I don't have slides for this, because I don't usually talk about this in the presentation, but I think you guys seem like a really advanced, bright bunch. So I'm going to get into it, because you will likely need this information in the future, which is why I'm telling it to you now. So remember, the minimum to spend on any ads on any platform, whether it's YouTube ads, LinkedIn ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads, Facebook ads, I don't care. The minimum you should spend a day would be $50. So you have to set aside $1,500 when you start advertising. That's the first thing I need you to remember before you leave. The second thing is, $50 is only going to be for one type of ad. You want to get the best performing ad. You want to optimize your ads. You want to split test your ads. You cannot do that if you're only running one ad. So the experts will tell you you need to run 2 ads and compare them against each other to see which ad runs the best, which converts the most, which gets you the most clients, customers, sales, leads, cash, whatever, which ad performs the best. Then you obviously run that ad. But in order to do that, you need to have two ads running against each other. So if one ad costs $50 and now you have to run two ads, you're now spending $100 a day. That is to be strategic. The amateurs are going to do, oh, it's $50. I can afford that. And they're going to run the one ad and it's not going to work and they're not going to know why. They're going to blow through their budget and they're going to be upset because they're not strategic about it. So you need to run two ads against each other. That's $100 a day. You're like, great, great. But again, the experts will tell you that's just one campaign with two different ads. Now what you want to do is you want to run two different campaigns. So you may have one campaign geared towards men with two different ads in it. That's one campaign. And you might have a second campaign geared towards women with two different ads in it. So now you have a campaign for men and a campaign for women, each with two ads. So you're trying to see which campaign runs the best, the men's or the women's. Again, you just have to change men and women for your specific product or service, right? I'm just using that to make it easier for you guys to understand. So guys, now if you're running two campaigns, each with two ad sets in them to compare, right? So now you're not only comparing ads, you're also comparing campaigns. If each ad is $50, guys, now you're spending $200 a day on ads. If you want to be sophisticated, if you want to be strategic, if you want to get the best results out of your ads, you need to test, you need to split test, you need to compare ads, you need to compare campaigns. That's $200 a day. That's $6,000 a month. So now we've gone from $1,500 a month to $6,000 a month. And then this is the last one, and then we're going to move on. Then the experts will tell you that's actually not enough. You need one more, which is called the outlier, which is completely different than anything you're running, just to see how that does. So now you're running 5 campaigns, guys, or 5 ads, right? 2 different campaigns, plus like an outlier or a tester, or I can't remember what the name for it now. I think it's a control. I think that's what they call it. I think they call it a control. So that's $250 a day. That's $7,500 a month for 1 month. And that's in one channel. That could be just $7,500 a month on Facebook ads. It could be $7,500 a month in TikTok ads. It could be $7,500 a month on Instagram, $7,500, whatever. Right? So that's how it starts to add up. If you want to advertise on YouTube and TikTok, now you're looking at $15,000 a month in ad spend. So that's how it goes. Okay. You guys are sophisticated. That's why I'm getting into this. This is a little bit more high level than I would normally get into, but I can tell you're a smart bunch. You can start to grow your business with zero budget if you start with video and then follow the soul system. So after you do video, then you do local, you start getting free leads from mobile with QR codes and stuff like that. And then social media, all the way to paid ads. And once you get to paid ads, you'll know what to do. And then the last thing I want to tell you is that the amateur, the big mistake people make is you're like, oh, I put $1,500 in, or I spent $7,500 in ads, so I better get back $7,500 or more because you want to be in a position of profit. That is the wrong way to think. That is amateur thinking. That is not the way that sophisticated corporate marketing executive and strategists think. We are willing to put aside 10 times the value of our product. So if I have a product that's $1,000, they're willing to throw away $10,000 on testing. They're not expecting to get that money back. Small business entrepreneurs, mom and pop shops, they're like, I spent $10,000 on ads and I didn't make any money. Advertising. That is not how sophisticated marketers think. We will put $10,000 aside for testing. If you think about pharmaceutical companies in the medical industry and the cosmetic industry and the food industry, they have to do R&D. That's research and development. You have to be willing to put aside money for testing that you are willing to lose and to never get back. So that $7,500 or that $15,000 I was talking to you guys about in corporate, we are willing to spend 3 to 6 months worth of marketing budget just on testing to see what works. Because once we know what works, we will only run those good ads. We will only run those good campaigns. And then we know for sure we are profitable from that point onwards. So again, didn't mean to be very belligerent or like in your face or passionate about it, but you guys have no idea if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur. This is going to be key to your success. How to market your budget, how to market your business with no budget. And when you finally have a budget, what are the things that you're supposed to do? All right. And then we have 3 more little sections to cover in the next, 45 minutes? Woohoo, good, awesome. All right. So I don't really think I have to spend too much time on this. This is just how to strategically plan to grow your business. We basically covered that before. Again, if you follow the 10 commandments and everything we figured, you know what? Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me see what we have to talk about. Maybe I'll show you. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, I am going to, you know what? I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second, and I'm just going to open up the floor for some quick conversation while I try to find my, while I try to find my 2024 marketing campaign so that you guys can look at it. Does anybody want to, does anybody have any questions?
No immediate question, but I found it really insightful when you talked about the Google ad spend and just online spend, and how initially your thinking is just $50 a day, but then you have to do multiple things. So basically looking at the whole picture is something I'm taking away from this particular segment. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, it's key. I see a lot of people stumble and make mistakes in that area. So, okay. What am I looking for? I think I'm looking
Dan
for...
has her hand up. Dan, do you want to just go for it?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Julie. I have a question. So regarding the Ten Commandments, number 6, commit not ad hoc marketing, be targeted and use skill. What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna change the language on that because they use that term ad hoc in corporate a lot, but I realize a lot of people don't know. It just means off the cuff marketing or random marketing. So let me see. If you actually let me look up the definition of ad hoc. It's basically unplanned. So ad hoc meaning, let me look it up. Oh yeah, so ad hoc, the answer is ad hoc is a word that originally comes from the Latin, and it means for this or for this particular situation. So it's just like, oh, this has come up. Let me do a post for it. It just means don't do it off the cuff. You have to plan. That's basically what it means.
Don't be too spontaneous. Be strategic.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find my own calendar. If I can't find it, I'll just Mappdom. No, I can't find it. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Where is her calendar? There we go. Wait a minute. Okay, Zoom, share screen. Desktop. Okay, Daria, I see 2 people have their hands up, so I'll just quickly show you this calendar because I think that's where we are. Yeah. How to build a 1-year strategically planning to grow your business, and then the update marketing trends, and we still have about half an hour. Okay. So let me. Okay, guys, so this is, I couldn't find my calendar, but this is a content calendar I created for one of our clients. So this is just her social media calendar. So the topic that we're talking about right now is strategically planning to grow your business. And for me, that obviously starts with getting customers and clients and doing the research and stuff like that. And so for her, we just did her social media calendar for 1 year. So I think I was telling you in the other presentation when I said the 5 P's: product, price, promotion, place, and people, and just switch that out for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it kind of goes along with that. But on Monday, we always have something motivational. So it's easy, really easy to remember. So this is even something good for you guys. Again, a lot of people, and this is proprietary to Mappdom, by the way. This is, again, my company positioning ourselves as a thought leader, writing articles, giving them to magazines and blogs to post. Oh, there's this new strategic way to come up with content. Again, positions me as a thought leader in the industry, and that's how I get clients organically. I don't spend any money on ads at all right now. I don't have to. We are planning to scale, and again, I follow the soul system, so I will be doing paid ads, but of course, I already know that I need to save a certain amount of money before going into paid ads. I'm not naive enough to think I'm going to spend money and get a return. I've already told you guys that that's not how it works. Anyway, one of the things Mappdom does is, this is our proprietary kind of social media strategy, where we say on Monday, post something that's motivational. Tuesday, post a testimonial. Wednesday, talk about, what you do, your services or offerings or whatever. Thursday, I call that your day. So call out or focus on your ideal target market, because this gives you the ability to use different hashtags and different descriptions so that other people can find you and grow organically. And then on Fridays, we call that Big Fact Friday or Fun Friday, where you're going to showcase someone else's content. You don't necessarily just want to post your stuff all the time. You want to say, hey, I found this really cool article in this magazine, or check out this case study on YouTube, or, look at this influencer, something. Nothing that's really going to be competitive to you, but you're giving your audience value by showcasing something else other than yourself all the time, right? On Fridays, you can ask them, hey, do you guys have a question, or share a story with me, or, you can post a fact, or post like, did you know that our ingredients are made of, or did you know this XYZ about my business? Did you know that our cafe is lit this way for this reason? Like, whatever. And then you might ask people, you want to ask them, share this with a friend, follow us, tag. You want to tell people to do things so that you can grow organically. So again, one of the biggest complaints I hear about marketing is, I don't know what to post. I don't know what to post. Follow the 10 commandments, right? Even if you forget all the details about what I told you today, follow the 10 commandments of marketing, and just remember, this strategy here: Monday, motivation; Tuesday, testimonial; Wednesday, what you do; Thursday, who you serve; Friday, big fun fact, right? So Monday, she's always got an inspirational quote every Monday for the next 52 weeks, right? Then just like the testimonials I showed you, she'll have testimonial here, another one, another one, another one. And you can even repeat the same month over again until you get content for 3 months or 6 months or 9 months or a year, because you're going to have different audience, different people are going to see it. They're not going to be like, oh, you posted that last Tuesday at 11:15 a.m. and you're posting it again. Like, that's not going to happen. So you can repost content. She talks about the different services that she offers: cutting edge training, global presence. They've been in business for 12 years. So again, that's the stuff I was telling you about, the specific technical details when I showed you that slide with the price, promotion, place, people, product, whatever. Right? Thursday, it's about who she serves. So she serves people in the healthcare industry and the law industry. So she's a business consulting company. And like I said, in terms of being specific, she could just be like, oh, I'm a business consultant. I'm a business consultant. I do business consulting. I'm a business consultant. I do business consulting. I'm a business consulting. Who cares? She's specific. We do business training for companies interested in diversity, equity, and inclusion. We do business training for people in the healthcare and finance industry. We do business training for healthcare. So that way people feel like, oh, you're in tune and in touch with my specific needs. So this is about, again, being specific, and Friday having something fun. And then when you look at your annual calendar, again, so you're not scattered and all over the place, January, February, March, she's going to be focusing on trainings that she does on database training, right? And then from April, she's going to be talking about hybrid workplaces. In May, June, and July, which happens to be Pride, which she'll be able to tie into it in all her posts and articles or whatever about diversity, equity, and inclusion. She does training on that, right? She also does training on continuing education and how to have fun at work. She does training for corporations on how to manage a remote hybrid business, right? And then she does training for companies that want to future-proof their business for the new future. So she's not waking up next week and thinking, oh, what should I post? What should I talk about? No, it's been planned in advance. I use corporate strategies with her and with all of my customers and clients, right? And we set this out for her. And then it's like, okay, well, this is the different training that you're doing, but what target market are you going after? So for the first 3 months, she's going after healthcare companies. So she's not all over the place. And by doing it for 3 months, she's able to sort of gain some momentum. And then around tax time, she starts doing B2B stuff to governments. Like she'll approach different government organizations and say, hey, would you like us to do trainings of your civil servants on this or whatever? And then right for back to school time, she starts focusing on, education she starts to focus on corporate training solutions for people in the education sector. Like, do they need DEI training? Do they need to know how to future-proof and be competitive in the marketplace? Like, right? And then she'll also focus on tech industries. So that's an example of what like a 1 year calendar would look like. Okay. And then I think I'm still sharing my screen. Let me see, am I sharing my screen? Yes, okay. So what do we have? We got like 20 minutes left. Perfect.
Sorry, can we also look at your the color pillars? What do they each represent? The purple, yellow.
Okay, so that's a great question. So earlier I talked to you about getting a brand and a brand story. So when we did her core exercise, which again was catalytic, her creative moment, the original thought, her reaction to it, and her execution. Like, how did you get into this business? Why do you want to be a business consultant? What she realized was she was in pharmacy school. She was like in pharmaceuticals or whatever. And she realized that there were lots of drugs that people could get for free if they knew how to apply for them, but people didn't know how to apply for them. And so she was very heartbroken by seeing people have to choose between rent or medication. So because that was her like core emotion was about caring, she decided she wasn't really an entrepreneur, but she started to say, okay, you guys, I can fill out this paperwork for you to help you get your drugs for free, or at least at a significant cost. Reduced cost. And people started asking her to do that. And then she's like, well, I can't just do this for free. She started charging for people. And then people will be like, hey, can you come to our company and talk about, health and wellness? And she's like, okay. And then like, hey, can you talk to our company about this? So that's how her business kind of grew and developed. Out of that exercise, we figured out that these are her brand colors. Her business is fun and friendly, but they're all also knowledgeable. Like everybody who trains on her team has a master's degree or PhD. That's her differentiating factor. She's got over 12 years of experience and awards, and they're very results oriented. So these are the color schemes that we came up with for her business and her brand. And that just kind of matches like the colors that she'll be using during the year. So if you can see here for her social media calendar, we've got the yellow there, we've got green there, we've got purple there. So it kind of highlights what she's going to be talking about or what the particular theme is for that particular quarter. So that's what the color coding is about. And that's a really good question because a lot of people won't do this. They'll just do something that's in black and white. And there's no way to really sort of differentiate. I would show you what her social media actually looks like, but it's not here. But it's all color coded and color schemed to represent her business. A great question. All righty, then let's go back to the slideshow. Play from current slide. Okay, so that is how you strategically go about planning your business. We don't need closed captions. All right, so here are some of the up-to-date trends in technology, which I've already mentioned. So chat box, sorry, I'm laughing because when I did this slide years ago, artificial intelligence was kind of on the bottom, and now I would reverse it. I'd put it on the top. But anyway, so these are the trends: conversational marketing, storytelling, personalization. Again, long gone are the days with the corporate executives sitting there with their, professional mugshot and their pearls, right? People want to know what you do on the weekend. You snowboard, what's your family like? What are your values? They want to know about you, not just the company. Not that you have to be some people are shy. Some people don't want to be the face of their business. That's fine. But make sure you have an avatar or a spokesperson or something that gives your brand and company some kind of personalization and relatability, right? Video marketing, I told you, is huge. The algorithms love it. They go viral. They're shared much more. They get higher engagement, make you seem more professional, competitive. Like, you can take it, transcribe it, use the audio. So many benefits of video marketing. Content marketing. Content, putting out case studies, putting out thoughts, putting out pictures, putting out videos, because there's so much noise and the market is so competitive. If you are not always seen, you're not going to be top of mind. You'll be lost, right? You need to be top of mind. So people always remember you. They may not buy from you right away, but they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember, I've been seeing this for the last couple of months or the last couple of years. Or someone will say, hey, do you know a real estate agent? Like, oh yeah, go to this person. Right? So content marketing, email marketing is very good because not everyone is on social media all the time. People are on social media, they fall off social media. People are on social media for a dopamine hit. Email marketing is very targeted. Those people are in your database, whether or not they are or are not on social media, whether you do or do not post on social media, you can always reach them by email. They may not always open your emails, but at least you do have direct access to them, unlike, social media. And when they're on your email list, you can collect things like their birthday, their phone number, so you can follow up with them with SMS. You can get their mailing address, mail something to their house on their birthday. So email marketing is really key. Again, those social media platforms can shut down your account. They themselves can shut down. Remember, there was some point where the US was trying to get there to be no TikTok in the USA. So what's going to happen if an app stops working, if they shut down your account? You don't have control. So email marketing is huge. It's also proven in the industry over the last couple of decades to have the highest engagement rates. So again, this is not something that most entrepreneurs know. This is for more higher level, sophisticated expert marketers. And we all know email marketing has the best conversion, right? Then you want to have influencer marketing, user generated content. Like I mentioned before, if you're selling a service or product, you could ask them for feedback. You can ask them for a testimonial. I've known people that design clothes and they're like, hey, give us a good idea for designer clothes, or give us idea on how we should design this shoe, or how would you use this particular product in a recipe? Send in your recipes. So that increases engagement, promotes loyalty. They'll be on your social media more often, right? In terms of influencer marketing, you can partner with people. You can have brand ambassadors. You can ask people to give you a shout out on their successful social media page. You can be a guest blogger. You can invite a guest blogger. You can be a guest podcaster. You could invite people to your podcast, right? But it's about extending your reach organically, all for free in these ways. And then data marketing is big. So instead of, again, just, oh, we want to do this, let's post this, let's do this, and with some bright ideas of people around the boardroom, more sophisticated marketing engineers look at data. So, this ad performed well at this time on this channel, to this market. It's very scientific. So it hits on, and it's incredibly powerful when you're marketing from a data perspective. Chat boxes, Messenger, artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, Midjourney, that's all really big right now. You can go on Canva to design your art, Midjourney to design your art, ChatGPT to create your marketing strategy, to give you ideas, to give you video scripts, to give you whatever you want. AI can do it now. AI, if you have a chatbot, it can follow up with people on Messenger to DM them, to direct message them. And, your chatbot might say, hey, we saw that you're interested in this. Would you like a free gift or evaluation? If so, click here. They click here. It's like, okay, well, we're going to send this to your email address, and we're going to also send you an SMS message. What's your phone number? What's your email address? So you can have lead generation with AI now and chatbots. You don't have to actually physically have to be there to do it. So that exponentially grows your production time and your execution. It reduces rather your production time and your execution time. And then lastly, I just want to talk about building relationships, going to network events, talking to people, getting feedbacks. I go to lots of conferences. At first, when I was promoting the Soul system, I was promoting it as one entire system where you could learn video marketing, social media marketing, mobile marketing, paid ads. And someone was like, forget it. That's too much. Just like focus on one thing. I would focus on video. So I was like, you know what? That's a great idea. And that comes from talking to people and getting feedback. So some of the benefits, here, first of all, what is networking? Networking is the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional social contacts. You can find out about the latest trends, the latest software, the latest profit idea, production reduction costs, changes in cultural temperature, changes in your customer base, right? You can find all of that out by talking to people. Just hiding behind a desk, sending emails or DMs or posting on your social media and taking out ads is not going to give you that information. Plus, you want to build relationships, right? So relationship building and networking strategies connect you with those people who could connect you to others or by influence. I have met so many people who've been able to help me and promote stuff. Again, all organic. You don't ever have to go into paid ads if you use these strategies, right? It helps you get more prospects. People can connect you with other people. They can connect you with other people. It helps you to get more sales, more exposure, more credibility. Plus you're seen, right? You look like you're a high profile person in the community. Like I told you, I have my sister-in-law who has her pet grooming business, and now she started a walking club in her community, right? So you can be a local hero just in your community. If you're a real estate agent, you want to be a local hero in your particular area, and that helps you to, like I say, develop relationships, trust, and eventually that will help you make more sales. It can also help you with your career advancement. If you need a job later on, if things in the business are slow, or you might get a contract gig with a company. And again, it helps you to build your reputation, authority, and leadership profile, which was a marketing strategy of mine. I didn't just win awards. I didn't just wake up with a reputation. Nobody just slapped a label of authority on me. Those were things I knew would increase my profile. So when I did start marketing, I could say things, I'm an award winner, I've done this, I've done that. I planned all of that in advance before starting to market myself. So it's important to build those relationships on networking strategies. And then here are some tips and tricks and things to do when you're at these networking events. Have your pitch ready. So again, what do? I am a strategic digital marketer. I show people how to get leads strategically online without spending a dime on advertising ever. Boom. So they know what I do, who I serve, and what's the benefit for them, and in what time frame. Like, I actually didn't say that properly, but have your pitch ready. Remember, they call it an elevator pitch when most buildings had 5 floors. But you can do the match test where light a match. You should be able to say what you do succinctly, what you do, who you serve, problem you solve, and the benefit they get in as quick a time as it takes for a match to go out under normal circumstances. Have your marketing assets in order, have your website ready, have your social media handles available, have your brochures, have your business cards, have your disc, your drives, your flash drives, like whatever it is, have product demonstrations, have samples, right? Testimonials, videos, have them available so that you can show, oh, so where can I find you? Or can I get your card? You don't be like, I don't have one. Oh, let me get it. Let me get it to you later. They're going to forget all about you. So make sure you have your marketing assets in order and that they look good. Because remember, you're competing with other people who have their ish in order, right? Show what's in it for them. Don't just be like, take. Offer value. Oh, you know what? I can put you in touch with someone. Oh, here, you know what? Let me help you out with this. Just do something out of the kindness of your heart without expecting to get anything back. Develop goodwill. You know the law of karma. It will all come back to you. People will see that you're not just a money hungry, greedy, selfish taker, and you'll be able to build respect that way. They have professional networking organizations like the BNI, Business Networking International, where once a week they'll meet at a restaurant. They'll have different people like a real estate agent, a marketer, construction, but people from different industries. They might have a florist and like a tech person, a restaurateur. And the idea is like, hey, you promote my business and I'll promote your business. So if anyone's looking for a florist or a real estate agent, nobody else but you. And you're a lawyer, and if you run into someone that needs marketing or real estate or a wedding planner, you don't refer them to anybody else in the city but me, right? So you guys are your own little clique, your own little club, your own little support group. That's the BNI, Chamber of Commerce, or where local merchants meet to talk about business in the city or local area. There are trade shows, either the automotive industry or cosmetic industry or hair or food or whatever. Oh, I'm not sure. I am. Okay. And then, of course, there are conferences, right? You can go to trade publications. So if there are certain magazines, they may have events. You can go on Eventbrite to see what events there are in your industry, or you can create an Eventbrite yourself. Local events, meetups, community groups, etc. Professional associations like the Professional Accountant Association or the Professional Restaurant Association, or chartered accountants, whatever. Professional networking groups. So they have like Verity in Toronto. That's a professional networking group where you normally have to pay an annual membership fee. Or corporate events, right? And then don't forget about digital networking, where once a week you set up, on a Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, whatever, you set aside a couple of hours where you're just messaging people. Hello, just wanted to introduce myself. I see that we're connected on LinkedIn, or we're connected on Facebook or social media or Instagram. Just thought I would say hello to be more personal, so I'm not just a name or a number in your profile. What is it you do? Just make some connections, right? Yeah, and then I already showed you guys how to do your annual plan. I don't have any particular tools to recommend because they're always changing. New ones are always coming out all the time. So you can really just Google it if you want to. And I literally just use Excel. I know that there are more sophisticated, fancier ones, but sometimes they're too sophisticated and fancy and they take too much time. So I just have a simple Excel sheet. And I mean, once you start on something like that, I guess if you can transfer it to more sophisticated marketing planning software, if you want to. But yay, that's it. So I see that we have a couple of hands up. That is how you build your 1-year marketing strategy and plan. Thank you so much for your time, energy, and consideration today. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I think I will take off my glasses, and I'll probably, like, the background is not nice. And I tried to blur out the background before. Catherine had told me that they had gotten some feedback that nobody wants to see the inside of my bedroom. And so unless I can blur out my background, I try to just there. But anyway, you guys should be able to see me. I don't have to read slides anymore. So I don't have to wear my crazy glasses, but someone's going to have to read the chat to me since I'm not wearing my glasses. But I see that we have a couple of hands up. So whoever was the lovely lady who was very authoritative and taking charge, I don't know who you were, but you rocked. So could you read the chat for me, or look at people whose our hands are up and have everybody speak?
Sure, I could help with that. But Ashish is my deputy on this. So Ashish, if you want to jump in, please feel free to as well.
You guys rock.
For
Thanks.
opportunity. So there's a question in the chat by Artin. Artin asks that do Google ads, Facebook ads, and other such paid ads make sense for a B2B business for any purpose other than branding?
Wow, what a great, sophisticated, multi-layered question. I would say yes, in the fact that, like, I also work with nonprofit organizations. There are some nonprofit organizations that can qualify for Google ad grants. So if you have a nonprofit, Google will basically give you $10,000 of free Google ads. Their only condition is it can't be for commerce. So your Google ad has to be like, download a free report, get this white paper, watch this webinar. It has to be educational. It can't be you can't have a Google ad for a nonprofit to qualify for this organization and get something for free. So why I'm saying that is because there are executives that are going to go online. They're going to be looking for services or product. They might be the chief technical officer or the chief information officer or the chief marketing officer, and the CEO, the chief executive officer, says, hey, look, this is the direction in which we're going for 2024. We need more equipment. We need more vendors. We need more whatever. Get it done. Bring me a proposal. Bring me a presentation. Like I told you earlier, you have to put yourself in the shoes of the customer. So that chief executive officer, that chief technical officer, that CIO, that chief information officer is still going to go to Google to look up, enterprise equipment or what are the latest trends in this industry. So they still are going to go on Google. They still are going to do keyword research, and it's still beneficial for you to have a Google ad, more so for B2B than TikTok ads or Reels or TikTok ads or Facebook ads. So I would focus on B2B. I would still do Google, and I would do LinkedIn ads for B2B, and also direct outreach, sending mailers, positioning yourself as a thought leader, writing articles, sending them articles by mail, showing value, because sometimes they have a longer sales process than, other people. So you have to massage them a little bit. But that's a great question. So the short answer is yes. All right, next, my facilitator. I like having a facilitator. I think I'm
Next is Dan. Dan has their hand up. So Dan, go for it.
Yeah, thank you, Ashish. I have a question. So for people who don't like to get on screen, then do you have any suggestions for them to do video marketing?
I missed something you said. So for people who don't like what?
Who don't like to be in camera or get on screen?
Oh, yeah, no, you don't have to be. With artificial intelligence, you can create an avatar, you can create a brand spokesperson, you can hire a brand spokesperson. Like I said, you can create your own brand spokesperson with artificial intelligence. You can use pictures and images with another voice. You can have product demonstrations. You can do a day in the life. If you have a restaurant, you can literally hold the phone this way and never show your face and just show yourself opening up the door, opening up the cash register. Testimonials are also videos that you can get that don't require you to be in there. So the majority of people do not want to be in their videos. So that's completely normal. Again, there's stock image that's free, stock video that's free. Like I said, you could do a PowerPoint presentation and turn that into a video. There's lots of ways to create video without being in it. So that's a great question. All right, who else do we have? Nobody else?
And Tolu is up next. She has her hand up. Go for it.
Thank you, Ashish.
This is not necessarily related to marketing specifically, but entrepreneurship as a whole. So as you were talking through, especially marketing on a budget and the things you could do, like making the video, creating your content calendar, and thank you so much for the samples you shared. My first thought was, oh my God, yet another thing to figure out because there isn't money. So I'm wondering, from your experience as an entrepreneur, and I don't know how large your team is, how do you manage these multiple hats that you wear as an entrepreneur while still running a relatively effective business and staying sane?
Girl, you're asking for like a lot, and staying sane. Come on now. Sanity is not a part of this at all.
I mean, you did say that, you want to be your own boss. You don't want to wake up with an alarm, but all of these things, there's a lot.
Yeah, entrepreneurship is difficult. And like I said, that is, I have a lot of entrepreneurial friends, and I see them doing things and I see them struggling, and it would always break my heart. And I'm like, what's the difference between me and them? I'm like, oh, the difference is I have the education, I have the corporate insight and experience. So I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Entrepreneurship is a lot, but just like they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? How do you Martin Luther King? Like, you don't have to see the whole staircase. You just have to take the first step, right? So I think that, again, following the 10 commandments and just, what is your business about? Who do you serve? How is it different? Sort of write those things down. Then you'll know, okay, are you gonna, and the thing with planning, like you're right, you are running your own business and they have complete marketing departments with 10 or 15 people just in their marketing department. So you can't be an effective marketer and still kind of run your business, right? So the benefit is if you just take the time and the discipline, and I think that's what it's really about. I've seen a lot of people fail for this. If you have the discipline to sit down and do the planning, and once you have the plan in place to get all the assets together, so you already know where you're going to market, how many videos you're going to have, what those videos are going to say, and then you develop the videos, you develop the content, you schedule it to deploy, then, just hire someone on Fiverr to maybe post on your blog once a week or send out an email once a week. Once you have the plan in place, you can delegate those tasks to other people, or you can set them up in schedulers so they deploy on their own, so that you are indeed working on other areas of your business. Like once you set up marketing should be able to run on its own or run with a team. You'll give them your branding document. They'll understand who you are, the colors, the font, the language, the target market, where they should be. You won't have to hold their hand the whole way. And that's why planning is really important. Because even in corporate, like we're not necessarily doing these. I mean, some companies, they're doing things sort of on the fly, but with other companies, all of our stuff is done, deployed, it's sitting in a folder, ready to go. And for the rest of the year, we're focusing on other stuff. We're focusing on the analytics or the comparisons or revision, or we're focusing on other stuff. We're not focusing on planning and executing during the year. We do that one time of the year. We get everything together, we schedule the assets, and then we move on with our life while marketing is kind of running in the background. Does that make sense? Does that help?
It does. It does. It does. It's helpful. Thank you so much.
Yay. All right. And I don't see any other hands or anything.
No, and nothing in the chat either.
Wonderful. Okay, so I don't know if you guys want to share any takeaways or anything that you learned, or if yeah. Otherwise, we are good to go. I guess you guys have another session later on this afternoon. Is that correct?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Well, good luck with that. You guys have been a really, really great crowd. Thank you so much for, being my co-pilot, my co-facilitator. But I wish you guys all the best. You have my email address. I know there's some stuff in the chat. Ying and Natalie will give me access to the chat, and I will follow up with everybody as requested. All right, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Nikki.
Take care. Have a great lunch.
Have a good
Thank
weekend.
you.
Bye.
Bye.